I crouch in the muddy trench, the weight of the message in my pocket feeling heavier than the rifle I back as the distant rumble of artillery grows louder. The air is thick with tension, and the smell of gunpowder and wet earth fills my nostrils. Storm, my warhorse, stands beside me, his nostrils flared and his eyes alert. He's as exhausted as I am, but he shows no sign of weakness. We both know this mission is already going wrong before it's even begun. Enemy patrols are closing in around treacherous, but we have no choice. The message must be delivered, no matter the cost. I whisper to Storm, my voice low but steady. Let's go, boy. We need to move. He shakes his head, as if understanding every word, and together we leave the trench, our steps careful to avoid making noise. The sky is overcast, and the moon barely penetrates the thick cloud, leaving the battlefield shrouded in shadow. Every step is a gamble, every shadow a potential threat. No man's land stretches before us, a desolate landscape of craters. The smell of death hangs in the air, and the silence eerie, broken only by the occasional snap of twig or the distant sound of a shell exploding. I grip my rifle tightly, my eyes scanning the horizon for movement. Storm follows obediently, his breathing heavy but controlled. He trusts just as I trust him. When we reach the river, my heart sinks. The bridge is destroyed, its twisted and broken beams rising from the dark water like the bones of a corpse. I curse under my breath, feeling the weight of time pressing against me. The detour will cost us precious hours, and every minute counts. I pull the map from my pocket, studying it in the faint moonlight. The only alternative route is through the dense forest to the north. It's longer and more dangerous. We have no choice. Let's go, Storm, I say, folding the map and putting it away. We need to keep moving. He hesitates for a moment, as if sensing the danger ahead, but soon follows my command. The forest is dark and silent, the tree branches intertwining above us like a natural roof. The air is cooler here, but no less threatening. Every sound seems amplified, every movement in the shadows a possible ambush. That's when I see him, Tom, a soldier from my unit, emerging from the shadows with a pale face and eyes full of fear. He's dirty and bloodied, his hands trembling as he holds his rifle. Jack, he whispers, his voice shaky, you shouldn't be here. Enemy activity has increased. They're everywhere. I look at him, feeling a knot form in my stomach. Tom has always been cautious, but now he seems on the verge of panic. I place a hand on his shoulder, trying to convey some calm. We need to keep going, Tom, I say, my voice firm. The message must be delivered. He shakes his head, his eyes filled with doubt. You don't understand, Jack. They're coming. They know we're here. I squeeze his shoulder, feeling the tension in his muscles. Stay strong. We'll get through this. He looks at me for a moment, as if wanting to believe, but then his eyes shift away, and he disappears into the shadows of the forest. I stand still for a moment, feeling the weight of his words, but there's no time to hesitate. I turn to Storm, who's looking at me with his large, dark eyes. Let's go, boy, I say, my voice softer now. We need to keep moving. We press on, the forest growing denser. The air is heavy, and the silence is oppressive. Then, suddenly, the silence is broken by the sound of quick footsteps and muffled voices. I crouch, pulling Storm down with me. My heart pounds in my chest as I listen, trying to locate the source of the sound. And then they appear, a small enemy patrol moving swiftly through the forest. They're heavily armed, their eyes scanning the area for movement. I hold my breath, trying to blend in. Storm remains still, but his breathing almost silent. But then a branch snaps under Storm's hoof, and the sound echoes through the forest. The enemy soldiers turn immediately, their weapons aimed in our direction. I don't think, I act. I raise my rifle and open fire, the shots echoing through the forest. Storm neighs loudly, his front hooves striking the air as he tries to defend himself. Chaos erupts, bullets whiz through the air, and the shouts of the enemy soldiers mix with the sound of gunfire. I move quickly, using the trees as cover, my rifle firing with deadly precision. Storm is by my side, his hind legs kicking a soldier who gets too close. The smell of gunpowder and blood fills the air, and the sound of battle is deafening. But then, a grenade explodes near us, the shockwave throwing me to the ground. My ears ring, and my vision blurs. I get up quickly, my body aching, but it's Storm I'm worried about. He's on the ground, his flank bloodied, his eyes filled with pain. "Storm!" I shout, running to him. My heart is in my hands as I examine the wound. It's bad, really bad. I whisper to him, my hands trembling as I try to stop the bleeding. "I'm sorry, boy, I'm sorry." I look around, searching for more enemy soldiers, but the forest is quiet again, except for the heavy sound of Storm's breathing. I need to move, but I can't leave him here. I grab my medical kit, my hands working quickly to clean and dress the wound. Storm groans in pain, but he trusts me, his eyes locked on mine. As I work, something on Storm's harness catches my eye, a strange insignia etched into the leather. It's a crescent moon with a star, and my heart stops for a moment. I recognize that insignia. It's the same one that was in my brother Michael's diary, the one he carried with him before he disappeared. I freeze, staring at the insignia, my mind racing. What does it mean? How did this insignia end up on Storm's harness? I remember Michael showing me the diary, his voice serious and his eyes filled with worry. He was involved in something big, something dangerous. And now, this insignia is here, linking Storm and this mission to my brother's disappearance. I feel a new determination rising within me. This mission is no longer just about delivering the message. It's about uncovering the truth behind Michael's appearance. I look at Storm, who's looking at me with his large, dark, "Let's go, boy," I say, my voice firm. "We'll get through this, together." I stand up, helping Storm to his feet as well. He's weak, but he tries, his determination mirroring mine. I grab the harness, my mind still spinning with possibility. I don't know what this insignia means, but I'm going to find out. I look around, searching for a safe route. Then I see it, a narrow hidden path, almost invisible under the dense vegetation. It's risky, but it might be our own. I mark the spot on my map, hoping it will lead us away from danger. "Let's go, Storm," I say, my voice soft but filled with determination. We've got a long way to go. We start moving, the narrow path taking us deeper into the forest. The air is heavy and the silence is oppressive, but I feel a new strength within me. This mission is bigger than I thought, and I won't rest until I uncover the truth. Storm is by my side, his presence a constant reminder that I'm not alone. We continue forward, the path leading us away from the battlefield and into the unknown. I don't know what lies ahead, but one thing is certain. I'll protect Storm, and I'll find out what happened to Michael, no matter the cost. I crouch in the muddy ground, the weight of Storm on my back almost making me fall. Enemy artillery explodes around us, lighting up the night sky with flashes of light that seem to tear through the air. The sound is deafening, and the ground shakes beneath my feet as if the world is collapsing. Storm groans in pain, his bloodied flank pressed against my body. I feel the warmth of his blood soaking through my shirt, but I can't stop. Not now. "Hold on, boy," I whisper, my voice almost lost in the noise of the battle. "We need to keep going." Storm shakes his head as if understanding, but his eyes are filled with pain. He's weak, too weak, and I know we can't keep this up for much longer. I glance at the watch on my wrist. The face is cracked, but I can still make out there are only a few hours left until dawn, and the message must be delivered before then. If it's not, well, I don't even want to think about what will happen if I fail. I take another step, my legs trembling under the weight. Storm is a big horse, strong, but now he feels like he weighs a ton. Every movement is a struggle, every breath a battle. I feel sweat running down my face, mixed with mud and blood. The smell of gunpowder and burning fills the air, and the sound of bullets whizzing over my head makes me want to hide. But there's no time for that. There's no time for fear. I look ahead, trying to find a safe path through the battlefield. The terrain is littered with craters, debris, and bodies, both allies and enemies. The sky is lit by flares, casting long, distorted shadows that seem to move on their own. I feel like I'm in a nightmare, one of those that doesn't end no matter how hard you try to wake up. Storm groans again, and I stop trying to catch my breath. I look at him, his large, dark, fixed on me. He trusts me, even now, even when I don't know if I can keep going. I feel a lump forming in my throat, but I swallow the emotion. There's no place for that here. Not now. Let's go, boy, I say, my voice firmer than I expected. We'll get through this. I take another step, and then another. The battlefield seems to stretch on forever, a sea of destruction and death. But I can't stop. I won't stop. The silence comes suddenly, like a blow. One moment, the air is filled with screams, gunfire, and explosion. Now, there's only the distant sound of moans, as if the battlefield itself is weeping. I stop, my hands trembling as I hold Storm. My instincts are on high alert. Something is wrong. I look around, my eyes scanning the horizon for movement. The sky is dark, the clouds covering the moon and stars. The air is heavy, filled with the smell of gunpowder and blood. I feel a chill down my spine, a sense that something is about to happen. Storm shakes his head, his nostrils flared. He feels it too. Something's coming. I crouch, pulling Storm down with. My heart is pounding in my chest, and I hold my breath, trying to blend into the shadows. My eyes scan the battlefield, searching for any sign of danger, and then I see them. Quick, silent movements like shadows moving between the craters. Enemies, they're closing in, their dark silhouettes almost invisible against the night sky. I quickly count. There are at least a dozen of them, maybe more. They're armed, their rifles ready, their eyes scanning the area for prey. I feel a coldness in my stomach. They're hunting, and they're hunting me. The shot comes out of nowhere, whizzing over my head and hitting a tree behind me. I throw myself to the ground, pulling Storm with me. My heart is beating so hard I can barely think. A sniper, and he's seen me. I crawl behind a crater, my mind racing. I'm exposed, with no cover, and the sniper knows where I am. I need a plan, and fast. I look at Storm, who's lying beside me, his breathing heavy and uneven. He's weak, too weak, and I can't risk moving him again. But I also can't stay here. The sniper will find me, and when he does, I close my eyes for a moment, trying to calm myself. I need to think. I need to act. I open my backpack, searching for something. Anything can help me. My hands tremble as I rummage through the content. Ammunition, a medical kit, water bottle, and then I see it, a piece of broken mirror, part of a signaling kit. An idea begins to form in my mind. I grab the mirror, holding it carefully. I look at the sky, where the moon is partially visible through the clouds. I can use this. I can create a distraction. I move slowly, positioning the mirror at an angle that reflects the moonlight. I hold it with one hand while the other grips my rifle. I wait, my breath held. The shot comes almost immediately, hitting the mirror and shattering it. I move before the echo of the shot fades, crawling quickly to the side, using the shadows as cover. My heart is pounding, but my mind is clear. I know what I need to do. I move silently, my mind focused. A sniper. I see him now, a dark silhouette on a hilltop, his rifle aimed in my direction. He's moving, trying to locate me, but I'm one step ahead. I approach from behind, my rifle ready. He doesn't see me until it's too late. I stand up, my rifle aimed at him. "Don't move," I say, my voice firm. The sniper freezes, his eyes wide with fear. He's young, younger than I expected, with a pale face and eyes filled with terror. He raises his hands, his rifle falling to the ground. I hesitate for a moment, looking at him. He's just a boy, probably conscripted, fighting in a war he doesn't understand. I feel a pang of pity, but I can't afford to be kind. I disarm him quickly, tying his hands with a rope I carry in my backpack. He doesn't resist, his eyes fixed on mine, filled with fear and confusion. "Stay here," I say, my voice softer than I expected. "Someone will find you." I turn my back on him, my heart heavy. I can't kill him. I just can't. I return to Storm, who's lying where I left him, his breathing heavy and uneven. I kneel beside him, my hands trembling as I examine the wound. He's getting worse, and I don't know how much time he has left. I open my medical kit, my hands working quickly to clean and dress the wound. Storm groans in pain, but he trusts me, his eyes fixed on mine. "I'm sorry, boy," I whisper, my voice breaking. "I'll get you out of here, I promise." I finish dressing the wound, but I know it's not enough. He needs a vet, real medical care, but I can't give that to him. Not here, not now. I look around, searching for a safe route. Then I see it, a discarded map on the ground near the sniper. I pick it up, studying it in the faint moonlight. It's marked with routes and guard positions, including a shortcut to the Allied camp. My heart races. This could be our way to safety, but I also see the markings of heavy guards along the shortcut. They know we're here. They're hunting us. I feel a coldness in my stomach. This shortcut is a trap, but I have no choice. I need to keep going. I look at Storm, who's looking at me with his large, dark eyes. He trusts me. Even now, I feel a new determination rising within me. "Let's go, boy," I say, my voice firm. "We'll get through this together." I stand up, helping Storm to his feet as well. He's weak, but he tried, his determination mirroring mine. I grab the map, my mind still spinning with possibility. I don't know what lies ahead, but I know we can't stop. We start moving, the shortcut taking us deeper into the battlefield. The air is heavy, silent, oppressive, but I feel a new strength within me. This mission is bigger than I thought, and I won't rest until it's completed. Storm is by my side, his presence a constant reminder that I'm not alone. We continue forward, the shortcut leading us away from the battlefield and into the unknown. I don't know what lies ahead, but one thing is certain: I'll protect Storm and I'll deliver the message, no matter the cost. I face the shortcut marked on the enemy map, my heart pounding. I know it's a trap, but with dawn approaching and Storm's condition worsening, I have no other choice. I tighten the makeshift bandage on Storm's wound and whisper, "We'll make it, boy." The deep breath. I guide Storm to the danger. The terrain is treacherous, full of loose rocks and hidden holes beneath the night's fog. Every step Storm takes is labored, his bloodied flank trembling with each movement. I feel the weight of the decision in my chest, but I can't stop. The message must be delivered. The fate of hundreds depends on the sound of approaching footsteps echoes. I glance over my shoulder and see dark figures moving between the trees. They're closing in, fast. My fingers tighten on the holster of my gun, but I know I can't engage in a firefight here. Storm is too weak to run, and I can't risk losing him. "Let's go, Storm," I say, my voice low but firm. Just a little further. Storm shakes his head, as if understanding, but his eyes are filled with pain. He's struggling to keep going, and I feel a lump forming in my throat. I can't fail, not with him. My mind drifts to Michael, my brother. I remember his words, spoken on a cold night like this, years ago. Sometimes the hardest path is the only one that leads to victory. I cling to those words, letting them guide me as we press on down the shortcut. Michael always knew what to say to keep me going, even when everything seemed lost. Now, more than ever, I miss him. Storm stumbles, his front legs giving way for a moment. I kneel beside him, my hands trembling as I check the bandage. The blood has already soaked through the fabric, and I know he won't last much longer. Storm rests his head on my shoulder, his breathing heavy and uneven. I feel the warmth of his body against mine, and a wave of despair nearly overwhelms me. "Just a little further," I repeat, but my words sound hollow. I don't know if I'm trying to convince him or myself. That's when I see it, a narrow opening in the rocks, almost hidden by the vegetation, a cave. My heart races, and I guide Storm inside, my hands trembling as I help him lie down. The interior is dark and damp, but it's a refuge, even if only temporary. I turn on a small flashlight, the dim light illuminating the cramped. Storm lies on the stone floor, his breathing heavy and irregular. I open my backpack, searching for something, anything that can help him. My fingers find a medical kit, and I work quickly, cleaning and dressing the wound with the few supplies I have. As I work, my eyes scan the cave. It's small, but there are signs that someone has been here before. A pile of empty cans, a piece of rope, a half-full water bottle. I grab the bottle and offer it to Storm, who drinks eagerly. For the first time in hours, I feel a glimmer of hope. I sit against the cave wall, my legs trembling with exhaustion. The silence here is strange, almost oppressive after the constant noise of the battle outside. I close my eyes for a moment, trying to catch my breath, but the image of Michael invades my mind again. He was always there, always protecting me, even when I didn't realize. Now, with Storm by my side, I feel an echo of that protection. Storm isn't just a horse. He's a part of Michael, a living reminder of my brother, and I won't let him die. The sound of boots crunching gravel make me open my eyes abruptly. My heart races, and I stand up silently, my hand going to my gun. They found us. I position myself near the cave entrance, my breath held. An enemy soldier enters, his dark silhouette against the faint light outside. I move quickly, grabbing him in a silent, brutal struggle. He's strong, but I'm more desperate. We exchange punches and blows until I finally subdue him, disarming him and leaving him unconscious, but not without cost. I feel a sharp pain in my arm, and when I look down, I see blood running down my sleeve. I don't have time for this. More soldiers are coming, and I know I can't fight them all. I return to Storm, who's lying where I left him, his large, dark eyes fixed on mine. He knows something's wrong. I grab the supplies I found and guide him to the back of the cave, where a narrow crevice leads outside. We squeeze through it, emerging into the cold night air. But we're not safe. They're there, waiting for us. Enemy soldiers emerge from the shadows, their weapons aimed at me. I feel surrounded, cornered. My heart sinks, but I stand up, placing myself between Storm and the soldiers. The enemy commander steps forward, a cold smile on his face. "Hand over the message," he demands, his voice calm and controlled. I hold the message tightly, my mind spinning. I can't let them take it, no matter what happens. I look at Storm, who's standing behind me, his breathing heavy and irregular. He trusts me. Even now, I prepare for the end, but then something happens. Storm steps forward, despite his injuries, his presence imposing and filled with determination. The soldiers hesitate, surprised by the horse's courage. It's enough. I move, taking advantage of the distraction. The fight is quick and brutal, but I have no choice. When the dust settles, I'm standing, the message still safe in my hands. Storm is by my side, his head held high, as if he knows we've made it. I look at him, my heart filled with gratitude. "You're not just a horse, are you?" I whisper, my voice breaking. "You're my brother's final gift." Storm rubs his head against my shoulder, and I smile for the first time in months. We continue forward, the path ahead still uncertain, but I know we're not alone. The enemy commander advances, his imposing silhouette cutting through the morning mist. His eyes are cold, calculating, and his voice echoes like a death sentence. "Hand over the message, and your death will be," his lips curling into a cruel. I straighten up, ignoring the pain that throbs in every inch of my body. The weight of the message in my pocket feels lighter now, replaced by the determination burning in my chest. Storm is behind me, his breathing heavy and irregular, but still standing. I position myself in front of him, my body forming a barrier between the enemy and my companion. "You'll have to kill me first," I say, my voice hoarse but firm. The soldiers raise their weapons, the barrels pointed directly at me. I feel the coldness of death approaching, but I don't move. My thoughts fly to Michael, to the nights we spent together, to the promises I made. "I'm sorry, brother," I whisper, quietly enough that only Storm and I can hear. "I tried." And then, as if understanding every word, Storm lets out a loud, piercing neigh. Before I can react, he charges forward, his hooves pounding the ground with a strength I didn't know he still had. He lunges at the soldiers, his massive body knocking two of them down like straw dolls. Chaos erupts, shouts and gunfire filling the air. I don't think, I just act. I take advantage of the confusion and run. The message pressed against my chest. Bullets whiz past me, but I don't look back. The sound of Storm's hooves echoes behind me, and I feel a mix of relief and despair. He's giving me a chance, but at what cost? Thank you, Storm, I murmur, the words coming out through clenched teeth. The Allied camp appears in the distance, a sight that almost makes me fall to my knees. I drag myself to the commanding officer, my legs trembling under the weight of exhaustion. I extend the message to him, my hands dirty with blood and dirt. It's urgent, I shout, my voice failing. The officer reads the message, his eyes narrowing. In seconds, he's shouting orders, and the Allied camp comes to life. I watch, my body collapsing to the ground. As the Allied forces prepare for the counterattack, the battle is about to change, but my heart is still out there with Storm. I have to go back, I say, getting up with difficulty. The officer tries to stop me, but I push him aside. I owe him my life. I grab a rifle and head back to the battlefield, each step a struggle against the pain and fatigue. The sound of battle is deafening, but all I can hear is one thing, Storm's weak neigh. I call out to him, my voice lost in the noise, until I finally see him. He's lying in a shallow ditch, his body covered in dirt and blood, but his eyes still shine with life. I fall to my knees beside him, my hands trembling as I check his wounds. You're a miracle, I whisper, tears streaming down my face. A few soldiers approach, recounting how Storm's charge disrupted the enemy's advance, giving the Allies a chance to regroup. That horse saved many lives today, one of them, and I look at Storm with a pride that almost suffocates. Back at the camp, I open Michael's belongings, my hands trembling as I search for something, anything that gives me an answer. And then I find it, a letter sealed and addressed to me. I open it, my heart pounding, and read my brother's words. If you're reading this, I'm already gone. I trained Storm to protect you. He's my final gift to you, brother. Trust him as you trusted. Tears stream down my face, and I look at Storm, who rubs his head against my shoulder. You're not just a horse, are you? I whisper. You're my brother's final gift. The sun rises over the battlefield, illuminating the path ahead. I tend to Storm, my heart lighter than it's been in months. I smile for the first time since Michael's disappearance, feeling a renewed sense of purpose. We'll get through this together, I say, stroking Storm's mane, just like Michael wanted. Storm rubs his head against my shoulder again, and I know I'm never truly alone.